Know your Lord. We learn about his names and his attributes. Know your Lord. What he approves and disapproves. Know your Lord. Believe in all things that he has brought forth. Know his oneness, Lord.
Know Your Lord, part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, right here on Sunnahfollowers. Being taught by Ustada Layla Nashiba as she lays down the foundations to get you together. Learn about your Lord. Know your Lord. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
Okay. Ina alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. I want to welcome everybody to our class on how to perform the prayer from A to Z. And the whole purpose of me teaching this series is because I have so many Muslims. Some of them are new shahadas. Many of them are not new shahadas. They've been Muslim all their lives, but they just started practicing the religion and they're trying to practice it the correct way. So it's amazing how most Muslims today have no understanding of what La ilaha illallah means. And even more, they don't even know how to pray. And this is why I was saying earlier, you brothers need to focus on Tawheed, on Aqidah, and the prayer with the Muslims today. That should be your focus of dawah, because the Muslims are at a loss today. They don't know how to pray correctly. They don't know what it means to believe in Allah. You know, nowadays people learn Islam from reading fatwas off the internet, and they learn Islam from watching a bunch of celebrities on TV, on YouTube. That's not the way to learn. So that's why I'm teaching this class. And today, what I'm going to go over are, you write it here, the sunnahs of the prayer. Guys, see that? Today we're going to be discussing, that's Facebook, that's YouTube, that's Twitch. Oh, I like Twitches. Okay, Twitchers. My followers on Twitch are growing more and more. So I guess I'll use that setting for the Twitchers. For the Twitchers, again, inshallah, if you guys are on Twitch, I should see your typing. If you type, if you have any questions, that's for anyone. If you have any questions, you can just type it. I'm streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Odyssey. If you're on Odyssey, I won't be able to see what you type. And also I'm streaming on Telegram. But if you, for those of you on Twitch, I can see it, inshallah. Just type your questions there, and inshallah, I should be able to see them. Because I know a lot of you are sending messages to me all the time with your questions. You see what this one is. What's this? Hold on, here's one of you. Wow, it's a bunch of you. What's going on here? Questions? What is this group? Amina Fresno, you in here? Did you make some type of group chat on? Did you make a group chat on Facebook?
Nope.
Well, girl, they got us in a group. You, me, Sabrina's typing away in there or something. What's going on with that group? Girl, check it out. Take that. It says Amina Fresno. It's got a picture of you.
What?
Yeah. What? Girl, you better make sure you ain't getting hacked. It's a picture of you talking about good morning. Girl, look on Facebook. I'm in this group with you. You Sabrine. Some people I ain't never heard of. What kind of group is this? And they texting. They on there typing out. That's where my phone beeping from. You better make sure you ain't being.
What is it called?
Go to your just to your chat. It's a group chat.
Oh, a chat. Okay, let me see.
Yeah, y'all got to be careful with these social.
I ain't did nothing.
I know you ain't. But look at that. They got us all in this group. Look at that. Check that group out. Probably some dude. Hello. You got to be careful of the predators, old women. There's a bunch of men on the internet, on Facebook, that prey upon elderly women. Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. What is in the chat?
It's private message.
Huh? Somebody message me. I don't see it. And then message me.
Girl.
She said you was typing. They must have did.
Yeah, you see.
I'm writing with an ink pen.
Well, you know what that means? That means Sabrine's been hacked. Hold on for a second, guys. Let's take care of this. We got elderly women here, and I want to make sure nobody hacking Sabrine. Hold on, Sabrine. Let me show you what's going on.
Okay. What?
Yeah, because that means.
I told you.
Yeah, I know you said you had problems. Well, somebody is hacking on your Facebook account. They just added me to this group, and Fresno's in there.
You see what's popping.
Elma's in there. Who are these people? Elma. Somebody named Say What the Heck You Want, girl. Yeah, and they got.
I never heard of that.
But they got your picture, Fresno.
Man, see what that is.
Look at this. Let me show y'all. Hold on. For y'all can see it too. I'm gonna show the people here too. Can y'all see my? Let me know if y'all can see my screen share. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna try to screen share it so they can see here. Can they see on YouTube too? Y'all see this? On the people you look at this. There your picture, Fresno.
I don't see it.
Look at this. Can you see me?
We can't see
it. It says Elma Hadja. Who's this Hadja person? Somebody named Hadja, somebody, and they got all of us in this nasty looking group.
You know,
take us off.
Oh, it's that look like Messenger.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody
Look
got y'all in a group in Messenger.
Yeah, and they messaging like crazy.
I don't see it though, man.
But you know, you got to see. Did you see it? I
haven't seen it either.
I see you, Sister Layla.
Okay, so you watching me on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And here's somebody texting me again. How do you?
I don't see it on. It's on Messenger.
It's on Facebook. Facebook Messenger.
Y'all look on y'all Messenger. Somebody probably just added y'all to a group and you wasn't aware of it.
It's
so
Elma.
Look in your Messenger.
Sabrine Hadja Kenyatta Baker. I don't even know nobody named Hadja Kenyatta.
A baker? Man, I don't see nothing, man.
And somebody called Say What the Wanna. Girl, how do I get out of this crap? I'm coming out of it. How do you leave it, Mina? You see me, right? Hold on.
Yeah.
Delete chat. I'm deleting and I'm leaving it. Hopefully I'm out. I'm out of it, hopefully. Y'all better find it and delete it and leave it. You know, you got to be careful. So y'all saw that. You have to be very careful with social media. It's dangerous for the children and not just for the children. Social media is dangerous for adults too. Especially if they think you're an elderly woman that don't know what you're doing. They'll try to take advantage of you. So be careful of that. Yeah, I just deleted myself out of it. So hopefully I'm out. They added a bunch of us there.
If it's in that little box that you just showed us right now on YouTube, you got to actually go in your Messenger on the side and remove yourself out of there. So it's going to pop back up.
Oh, it's going to pop back up?
Yeah.
But when it do, I'll just remove.
Just deleted it. Yeah, because you have to remove yourself out of it, period, at the top. So if they added you guys to a group, it should have been sending you notification like it was sending her notification on Instagram.
I ain't got nothing.
Somebody probably made a fake page of y'all there.
They did. Yeah, but then it's probably
yours
a man.
Don't say Fresno. Yours say Muhammad. So
that's what I'm saying. This is a man probably. Sisters, be careful. That's why I tell y'all a lot of marriages have been destroyed behind Facebook. And y'all have got to be careful, because these nasty, dirty, filthy, ugly, degenerate men will make groups where they'll put a hijab on and pretend to be women. Then they'll try to add a bunch of Muslim women into these groups with them. The next thing you know, it's all about, yes, they're sex predators. Looking for a desperate woman that's going to give them a green card and get them here to America. Yeah, well,
they be in trouble messing with me.
Girl, do you know they get in trouble messing with me too, girl? I ain't the one, but I just wanted to know who. Never even heard of them people.
I don't even see it, man. You think it's somebody that come on Facebook and just pick out?
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah, they do that. Anybody can make a group chat. That's why I don't use Messenger, really. I really don't use. I used it the other day because I was trying to message with Antar. But I'm gonna delete it. I usually don't use Messenger, Facebook Messenger, but I'm gonna delete it after the class because I don't use it. All right, let's get started on the class. But I just want the elderly sisters to be aware of it. They got all of us old women in there. But anyway. So, subhanallah, everybody's here now. So we can, always the drama. Brother Tajri said is always drama. We women need protection. That's the problem. They try to prey upon Muslim women who ain't got no husbands and who elderly. So they don't know that we can hold our own. Or they'll find out. Okay, so let's get started. Fatima, they might even have you in that group. You better check and see. So let's get started here. We've been speaking about how to perform the prayers the correct way. We went over the pillars of the prayer. Who can tell me what are the pillars of the prayer? Who can name them all? Who can name and begin? We begin with the intention. I'll give you that one. What are the pillars of the prayer? Anyone?
Okay, so the intention, first you just said that. The opening of the prayer is a takbir. You must stand. You must mention the Fatiha. Though you have to say the Fatiha. You have to bow down, prostrate, sitting, and the final tashahhud to the right, taslim.
Girl, you go, girl. She got them all. I'm trying to write them. Okay, good job. Those are the sunnahs, and I want y'all to look at the ticker. I put it in the ticker now. What are the pillars? Those are the pillars of the prayer. The pillars of the prayer are, number one, you have to have intentions. And the intentions are not recited out loud. The simple fact that you know it's time to pray and you're going to pray, that's your intention. Then if the prayer opens with the takbir, standing is a pillar. The Fatiha is a pillar. The bowing is a pillar. The tashahhud. Which tashahhud is a pillar? We're going to talk about that. The second tashahhud is a pillar of the prayer, which is the final tashahhud. Also, the sitting is a pillar of the prayer, and the assalamu alaikum to the right is a pillar of the prayer. So like a lot of brothers ask me, they say, Layla, I went to the mosque, the imam said assalamu alaikum and got up and left. He didn't pray right. Why come he didn't? Because he didn't say it to the left. This is a pillar. The prayer closes, as the prophet said, the prayer opens with the first takbir, and the prayer closes with the salam to the right. Okay? It's a sunnah to do both sides, but it's also you can just do the right. Most of the time, the prophet did both sides, but there are some times where he just salamed out to the right. Okay? So don't jump on the imam because he does that. Don't call him an innovator. Don't make takfir. Don't make takfir against Imam because he did that. All right. And so today what I'm going to do is go over the sunnahs of the prayer. And we're going to talk, I'm going to answer the question that one of the brothers, Brother Edward asked, how do we raise our hands? Brother Edward was talking about how some of the brothers do this. Is this the sunnah? When we raise our hands to say Allahu Akbar and put our hands over our ears or with or next to our ears? Today we're going to talk about that. We're going to go into the sunnahs, and I'm going to tell you about the hands. We're going to focus on the hands. So let's put the PowerPoint up. Exactly, Brother Tajri. Good job. Let's take a look at it. So here we go. Yeah, today we're going to be covering the sunnahs of the prayer, putting emphasis on the placing of the hands, because a lot of the brothers come to me with this question about the hands. Okay? So let's take a look at it. But before we go into that, let me continue the quiz. Y'all know me. Which of the following things, and I don't want Mina to answer. Oh God, I'm giving it away. I'm sorry. Which of the following things is a pillar of the prayer? And the reason why I'm asking it again is because I've learned yesterday. I can give y'all the answer to a question, explain it, in 5 minutes later, y'all done forgot. Ask Sister Layla. She'll tell you about it. So, which of the following things are a pillar of the prayer? What about the bowing? Is the bowing a pillar of the prayer? Yes or no?
Yes, it is a pillar.
What do you guys on YouTube think? The people on YouTube, do you think it is or not? Is the bowing a pillar of the prayer? What you think, Brother Tajri? Brother Edward? Okay, Sister Halima said, yes, it is. Fatima said, yes, it is. Jamila, good job. Yes, it is. It is a pillar. And when we say it's a, Brother Tajri said no. Okay, it is a pillar. Brother Tajri, I want you to remember that. The bowing is a pillar. And what does that mean when we say that it's a pillar? Can anybody explain that? What does it mean when we say it's a pillar of the prayer?
It means you have to do it. If you don't do it, your prayer is not accepted.
Exactly. Yeah, don't be sorry. This is a teach you, babe. This is a teach you, brothers. You guys that are new to Islam too, take notes. This is a teach you. A lot of people were born Muslim and don't know this answer. Bowing is a pillar. If you don't bow, your prayer is not accepted. So say this: I made salat and I forgot to bow in the third rakat. I forgot to bow in the third rakat. Do I have to make that prayer over? Yes or no? I forgot to bow.
Yes, you do, because it's a pillar.
Exactly. Yes, I have to make it over. So it doesn't matter what rakat you forgot. If you didn't do that bowing, the prayer is not accepted. And you need to remember that, because we're going to get to another point later on next week where that plays an important role. What about this? Is the standing a pillar of the prayer?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes, it is. Good job. Standing. When can I sit? Can I choose to sit and do my prayers?
You can't.
Whoever it is that's mumbling, we can't hear you. When can
If you can't stand, you can sit.
Exactly. The only time you can do your prayer sitting down is if something is wrong with you and you can't stand. So say, for example, I'm sick I'm sick and I can't stand up, then I can pray sitting. But if you are capable of standing, guys, standing is a pillar of the prayer. You have to stand. And how do we stand? Do we slouch over? Do I just slouch? How do we stand?
You stand up straight with your back, back as straight as you can.
Exactly. The prophet said, stand straight with your back straight. You have to stand up straight. Don't slouch over before your Lord. You're praying to your Lord. And even when we bow, make sure your back is straight. We don't go half job through these positions. What about this? Is prostrating a pillar of the prayer?
Yes.
Yes, it is. You have to prostrate. If you don't prostrate, your prayer is not accepted. And again, the only time you don't have to is if you can't. But you have to perform the prayer properly, guys, if you want it to be accounted. What about the first tashahud? Is the first tashahud a pillar of the prayer?
No.
Good job. No, it is not. No, it is not. The second tashahud is. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. The first tashahud. So say, for example, I was making salat and I forgot to recite the first tashahud when I was sitting. Do I have to re-pray my prayer?
No.
Good job. No, you do not, because it was not a pillar. What about the assalamu alaikum to the left? The second salam. Is that a pillar of the prayer?
No.
No, it's not. So that means even if I forget to give the second salam to the left, my prayer is still accepted. The pillar is the one to the right. Okay. Now, who can tell us how do we perform the bowing? Can you detail to us how we're supposed to be positioned when we bow?
Your hands on your knees.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good job, Sabrine. You should bend over and place both of your hands. Place both of your hands over your knees and your back. Again, good job, Brother Edward. Your back should be straight. Where should my eyes be when I'm praying? When I'm bowing and standing, where should my eyes be?
Where are you going to prostrate?
Good job. Your eyes should be on that spot on the floor where your head will meet. You should not be looking all around in the prayer and looking behind you and looking to see who's standing behind you. Your eyes should never move that spot where your head will hit that floor. That's how we keep our concentration. Okay, good job. So now who can tell us how do we perform the prostration? How is the prostration performed? Who can detail it?
The prostration is your nose and your forehead has to be touching the ground, and so it's 7 parts. So it's your nose, your forehead, both of your hands, and then both of your knees, and then your top of your 2 feet.
Yeah, the toes of your feet. Exactly. Good job. And what about my arms? Should my arms be on the floor? How should my elbows and arms
Your
be?
elbows should be straight up, not on the floor
Exactly.
like a dog.
Exactly. Up. You see how I got my arms up? Raise them up. They got exercises. Oh, yeah, for you elderly sisters. Oh, yeah, you can work out in that chair. This is good for the shoulders. But you should be your nose, your forehead, all the fingers of your hand flat. like this on the floor, flat. Spread it apart, flat. My elbows up, okay? My knees on the floor and my toes, all, that part of the top part of your foot, this is the top, all that on the floor. Exactly. That's the prostration. So these are the things we talked about the last time we met. Those are all the pillars. Now we're going to go into the sunnahs of the prayer. And this is the question that many of you brothers ask me, because there's different schools of thoughts, the methabs and the fighting and all of that. That's why we need to learn the hadith, because you will never understand how to do anything until you learn the hadith. And the prophet was very detailed. Let's talk about the raising of the hands. The raising of the hands, this is done at the beginning of every prayer's takbir. Remember, the brother asked me, it was you, Edward, that asked me the other day, do you raise them to your ear or do you no? All the people agree that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam raised his hands at the beginning of the prayer, and here is how he did it. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's raising of the hands at the beginning of each prayer, by the way, this is food for thought, has been narrated by over 50 companions. Over 50 companions told us that the Prophet raised his hands before each prayer, including all 10 that were given the good news of paradise. And how did he raise it? The hands are to be raised to the shoulders with the fingertips parallel to the bottom of the ears. Does everybody understand? And I know Imam Hanafi got a different opinion. I know all these different opinions. Well, we don't practice Islam based on anyone's opinion. We practice Islam based on how Allah said to do it. And here's the authentic dalil. Abu Hurairah, he was not a four imam. He was the originals. He said that whenever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood for prayer, he would raise his hands and have them open. He with them being open. So that's telling you something there too. Remember, the brother asked, do I close my hands and make a fist, or do I hold my hands down? Now, if you got a disability, that's different. But no, you raise your hands and the Prophet's hands would be open like this. Okay? And this is the source of the hadith. There's the source. Islam is based on proof from the Prophet and the companions, not from nobody else. Also, about those hands. This is the second question that the brother asked me about when to raise them. First of all, you're going to raise them every time you come up off the floor. Allahu Akbar. Y'all understand that? Whenever you go to stand, write this down, Edward. Whenever you stand, that's when you raise your hands to the shoulder. So I'm going to begin the prayer, Allahu Akbar, to the shoulder. When I bow and I come back up, that's when we raise the hands again. When I go down to the floor and sit, do I raise the hands? No. You don't prostrate and then go Allahu Akbar and sit. No. We raise the hands when we're standing. So when I stand up off the floor, when I go from prostrating to stand, that's when I do it. And again, one must raise the hands at about the same time that you say Allahu Akbar. Everybody take a screenshot of this. Where's my Dalil? Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, would begin his prayer. He would say the takbir and raise his hands. The Prophet Muhammad also did this. This is all from Bukhari, Nasai, Abu Dawud, and others. He also said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would raise his hands upon making the takbir until they were parallel to his shoulders. Y'all see that? The shoulders, not the ears. So we don't do this. This is not the Mickey Mouse Club. No, Islam is not silly. You got brothers doing this. This is not Islam. The Prophet would raise his hands to the level of his shoulders. Y'all see my shoulders? I'm parallel. That means right next to the shoulder. And my fingers should be open, parallel to the ears. Not parallel. Parallel to the bottom of the ear. That means at the bottom, not the top. It's not the same height as the ear. It's at the bottom, below the ear. Just Allahu Akbar. That's all. Allahu Akbar. Y'all see that? Allahu Akbar. Okay. As for the raising the hands before the takbir, a lot of people ask that, Sister Layla, I prayed at a mosque. The imam would, or somebody would raise their hands before saying Allahu Akbar. Well, listen to this authentic hadith. Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, said, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood for prayer, he would raise his hands until they were parallel to his shoulder and then make the takbir. What's the source of this hadith? Bukhari and Muslim. Can't get no better than that, people. Also, we have a hadith from Malik ibn al-Huwayrith. This is also from Sahih Muslim. Make the takbir and then raise your hands. Allahu Akbar. So that's why you will see the imams doing it that way. They'll be say Allahu Akbar and then raise the hands. This is the dalil. They're doing it correctly. This is from what Ibn Umar told us. This is what the Prophet did. Again, make the takbir and then raise your hands. That's Sahih Muslim. That's also Sahih Bukhari. Make the takbir. What does that mean? Say Allahu Akbar and then raise your hands. So you're getting ready to pray, Brother Edward. You say Allahu Akbar and then raise your hands. And put them across your chest and go into your Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah. Then Allahu Akbar, and then you're going to go into your bowing. Then Allahu Akbar, and then you're going to raise them. You see that? Make sure y'all take screenshots of this. And this is straight from the authentic hadith. We talked about maqasid. Maqasid, the highest aim. As Muslims, we're supposed to aim high, the higher aim of understanding the Quran, the maqasid, the higher aim of understanding this religion. The only way you're going to have that aim is by basing everything on what the Prophet and his companions said, not the four imams, not a mathab, not a sheikh. Nobody can overrule these people. That's why I was telling you in yesterday's class, when it comes to me explaining or interpreting the Quran to you, I use the analytical approach, followed by the themes, and also with comparative. And everything is based on what the Prophet and the companion said. That's the same way with me with the hadith. There's a science of hadith too. Maqasid, aim high. I'm going to give you what the prophet said, what the companions said, I could care less what anybody after them had to say. May Allah bless all those brothers. May Allah bless the 4 imams. They were the best too. May Allah bless Ibn Taymiyyah. You know, you do your ijazah. My ijazah includes Ibn Taymiyyah. May Allah bless him and forgive him of his sins. But I'm sorry, the religion is based on what the Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the understanding of those companions. Y'all understand? Exactly. That's the traditional Islam. That's maqasid. All right. So when you brothers pray, does this mean that you get into arguments with these other brothers? No. Because again, these are sunnahs. What does it mean when I tell you that these are sunnahs? That means that you don't have to do these things. Raising the hands is not a pillar of the prayer. So it's not worth arguing about. Y'all understand? Allah will accept their prayer whether they raise their hands or not. So it's not worth fighting over. But for those of us who want to pray, as the prophet said, pray, this is how you do it correctly. This is maqasid. This is the higher understanding, the higher aim of application. You raise your hands to the level of the shoulders. Hands are open. As Ibn Umar and Abu Hurairah said, the fingers below the ears, not above them. The takbir before you raise. Allahu Akbar before you raise. Okay. Also another sunnah too, it's preferred to raise your hands while going to bow and coming up from the bow too. But again, if you're praying with an imam or someone that doesn't raise their hands, it's okay. Don't call them out on it. Don't argue. Don't fight. Don't even mention it, because these are not pillars. But the prophet said, pray as you see me pray. When we pray exactly like him, you get more blessings, more reward. It strengthens your prayer. It strengthens your connection with Allah. Okay? Now, where's my dalil? I've given you the sources, and also just to let y'all know, over 22 companions narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam raised his hands. He would raise his hands while going to bow, and he would raise his hands when coming up to bow. That's how you know it's solid. Maqasid. 22 companions. And also we have this hadith of Ibn Umar. He said when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood to pray, he would raise his hands until they were the same height as his shoulders. And then he would make the takbir. When he wanted to bow, he would again raise his hands in a similar fashion. Y'all see that? To the shoulder. When he raised his head from the bowing, he did the same. And he would say, Sami Allahu liman hamidan. Okay? Now, this is in Sahih Bukhari. Imam Bukhari says he would not do that when he was going to prostrate, nor when he came up from prostration. So there's your dalil that we don't say raise the hands when sitting, when between the bowing, the prostrating and the sitting. We don't do that. If you see Muslims doing that, that's innovation. Okay? Also, Imam Bukhari said he would not raise his hands between the two prostrations. He did not stop doing that until he died. So anybody's telling you that the Prophet would, sit and do that, no, that's not correct. Also, we have this hadith. When Ibn Umar stood for the third rakat, he would raise his hands, an action which he ascribed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And while describing the prophet's prayer, Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, said that when he stood from the two prostrations, he would raise his hands until they reached the shoulders. So again, guys, the raising of the hands, the opening takbir, before bowing, after bowing, and when coming when coming up off the floor. Please take a screenshot of all these hadiths. Take a screenshot of this page so you brothers have it, because this is all the evidence, all the dalil. I put the whole sources. All right. Now, oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, I put something else. Oh, I thought that, yeah, I forgot this. Women. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about you little missies. Some of you sisters are talking about that some brothers told y'all that y'all don't have to bend and bow. Well, here we go. Women have to pray the same way the men pray. Y'all remember this name? Ash-Shaqani. Ash-Shaqani. Remember we were talking in our Hasidic Tafsir class that there's another Tafsir book by Ash-Shaqani. And I told y'all that sometimes y'all may hear me use his name. There he is. As he said, know that this sunnah is to be done by men and women. There is no proof to show that there is any difference between how a woman prays or a man prays. There is also no proof to show how they raise their hands. And then we have the hadith of Aisha. May Allah be pleased with her. What's the source? What's the source? Sahih Muslim. When the Roman women came and asked her about the prayer, she said, we women pray the same as the men. There's no difference in how we pray. So I don't know who these brothers are telling you women to tuck it, to push your butt in. I don't know where they come from. But that's not the way the female companions did it. And so now we're going to talk about the positioning of the hands. Look at this picture. We're going to talk about placing the right hand over or upon the left. This is a sunnah. So what does that mean? That means don't fight with each other. You're at a mosque and a brother's praying next to you. He doesn't raise his hands. He doesn't even put his hands over his chest. He prays with his hands to his sides. These are the Malikis. They follow the method of the Malikis. That's not how Imam Malik prayed. Imam Malik used to raise his hands like the Prophet did. But then when Imam Malik was beaten and they broke his fingers, he was unable to raise his hands. Okay? When he died, it was his students that made that a part of their school of thought. That wasn't what Imam Malik said. He said, raise your hands. Okay? But you're going to pray with people who don't put their hands over their chest either. Well, don't argue. There are over 20 hadith from 18 companions and their followers about this. For example, Sahal ibn Sa'd. Sahal ibn Sa'd. He said the people were ordered by the Prophet to place their right hand on their left forearm during the prayer. And this is a Bukhari hadith too. Y'all see this picture here? See how these men, they're praying. They have their right hand over their left forearm. That's the way the Prophet taught them. Okay? This is from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also, we have the authentic hadith. This is in Bukhari too, where the Prophet said all the prophets of Allah were ordered to hurry to break their fast and to delay the sahur. And they were ordered to place our right hands on our left during the prayer. So all the prophets, this is the way Moses prayed. This is the way Abraham prayed. This is the way Jesus prayed. Noah, Solomon, David, they all prayed with their or their right hands over their left, on their left during the prayer. There's your Dalil. We also have a hadith from Jabir. He says that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed by a man who was praying with his left hand over his right, and the Prophet pulled him away and put his right over his left. So there's the dalil on it. But again, I don't want you brothers fighting and arguing about this in the mosque, because it's just a sunnah. Okay? And the position of the hands. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam placed his hands on his chest, just like this. This is narrated by Hubd el-Tai. He said, I saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam praying with his right hand over his left, upon his chest, above the elbow. Because you're going to see Imam Hanafi has that school of thought, has their view on where your hand should be, or below the elbow. I mean, the belly button and all that stuff. Other imams got their views. We don't care. You have it from this companion that the Prophet prayed with his hands over his chest. Just like this picture here. And that's all that matters. Also another hadith, Ibn Hajar. Once when I prayed with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he placed his right hand over his left upon his chest. Then he put his right hand over the back of his left wrist and forearm, just like this man is doing in this picture. This is how all of us, women and men, should pray. This is the position that all of our hands should take. Okay? So I'm going to stop right here because this is a lot of information. I'm going to try to break it down body part by body part. This is the hands, the positioning of the hands and stuff. So, but again, I don't want you brothers fighting and arguing and all that crap, because these are all sunnahs. If you're at the mosque and a brother doesn't raise his hands at all, it's okay. His prayer is accepted. If the imam doesn't raise his hands, it's okay. The prayer is accepted. These are all sunnahs. If they don't put their hands over their chest, it's okay. It's accepted. Your prayer is not invalidated because you do the opposite. All right. Any questions or comments? Questions or comments? By the way, is Sister Aisha here? I heard you had some questions in last class. I didn't get to see them. Is she here? Is Aisha here?
I thought it was Amina.
Oh, Amina.
It was Amina. She said that they have prayer rugs that have the recitation on them. Can you use them? I guess they got prayer rugs that have the prayer on it or something. I don't know what she meant.
Girl, all that stuff would be distraction. There's nothing. Why would they do that? Like I said, reading. When we're going to talk about khushu'. We're going to talk about your concentration. You're not supposed to be reading. Your mind is supposed to be on Allah. I wouldn't use that crap because it's a distraction. Why do I want to see some writing on a prayer rug? I'm not going to reading off of that. No, that's crazy. Yes, Brother Tajri. But remember, these are sunnahs, though. These are sunnahs. That means if a person doesn't do that, it's still accepted. If a person raises the hands and then do the Allahu Akbar, it's still accepted. It's still accepted because it's a sunnah. So don't argue about it with the people. Don't fight about it with the people. But there's more hadiths that say that he said Allahu Akbar and then raised the hands. What do we say? Over 20 companions? Yeah. But if they do Allahu Akbar and then raise, it's still accepted. Yeah, but I wouldn't pray with any of those distractions. Because you're not supposed, like I said, Allah made this religion easy. For people who don't know the Fatiha, all they have to do is say Subhanallah, Allah, Allah ilaha illallah and all that. They don't have to sit there and read nothing. That's not from what the Prophet taught. Can a woman put her hands under her breast? I don't know how you do that. Again, if you want to, I guess you could, if that's all you can do. If all a woman can do is put her hands under her breast, there's nothing wrong with that. Remember, these are sunnahs. These are sunnahs of the prayer. But you should try to put your hands across, because I don't think nobody got more than what Layla got. And Layla puts hers across. If I put them underneath, that's going to make what Layla got. You do better putting it over, not under. But, these are sunnahs. These are,
and it's a real distraction. That's a real distraction to do that.
I would think so. But like I say, everybody's different. This is a sunnah. It's not worth arguing with anybody about. Putting it over the chest would be better because it's easy. And Layla got some girls. Yeah. But if that's the best for you, that's the only thing that you can do, because everybody got different medical issues too. Do what's best, what's easier for you. Okay, here's a question from Brother Tajri. He says, would performing more sunnahs, can that help you on the day of... Okay, we're going to talk about the sunnah prayers and the sunnahs. Doing the sunnahs of the prayer, they make up for any mistakes that you may have made. So, for example, doing the sunnahs like the raising of the hands. A lot of people might say, Sister Layla, well, why raise my hand if I don't have to? Well, for one thing, because we're supposed to try to be as close to the Prophet as we can. That's number one. Number two, the sunnahs make up for any mistakes that we make with the pillars. So say, for example, you made a mistake in your Fatiha recitation or in your Tashahhud recitation. The sunnahs of the prayer make up for that. The sunnahs of the prayer make up for that. Exactly, Brother Tajri. They make up for any mistakes you have. Allah will say, well, you prayed on this day and you half did it, but the fact that you did the sunnahs, I'm going to make them count and they'll make up the difference. So yes, they do. That's another reason why it's good to do the sunnahs, because they make up for any mistakes. Plus, number one, we're supposed to be as close to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in our worship and relationship as we can. If you can do the sunnahs, guys, do them. That's better for all of us. Yeah. Any other questions?
What about the raising of the hands when you're opening the prayer? Is that one sunnah as well?
Okay, that was the first question we asked. What's the answer, guys? The opening takbir. Is that a pillar or sunnah?
A pillar.
That's a pillar.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a pillar of the prayer. You open up with Allahu Akbar and the hand. That's what we first started with. That was the first answered question too. The hands, the level of the shoulders. You got that, Brother Edward? Yeah, not this. Because he say they go Allahu Akbar at his mosque. I don't know what mosque this is. Allahu Akbar. No, it's Allahu Akbar. But it's, look at this. The level of your shoulders and below the ears. not the level of the ears. Yeah, it's probably a Pakistani masjid. I heard some of the Pakistanis pray like that. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, just to confirm, because I thought we went over that facing the Qibla is also a pillar.
Yeah,
So
but
we
that's
don't-
before the prayer. I want y'all to go over these are the actions of the prayer.
Okay.
Oh, I hope I didn't got to go back over before the prayer. That's before. You got to
Okay.
pray on to when the Abdan is called and all of that. We did that. This is the prayer itself. Yeah.
So, Sister Layla, my son had a question. He said, you haven't went to wudu yet, but he said, like say for instance, you forgot to do your nose and your mouth, but I told him that was a sunnah. But he said, say for instance, you forgot to do that, and then do you start the wudu over?
No.
Or do you just let
No,
it go?
we're going to talk about ablution after we do the prayer. But no, those are sunnahs. Again, the sunnahs mean that you do not have to do them. That means that the prayer is accepted, or whatever it is accepted. But we do them because they bring about more reward. And also we're trying to be as close to how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was as we can be. Sometimes you may not be able to rinse your nose and mouth like me. Sometimes when I go to the doctor, I can, if my allergies are messed up and she put that stuff in there, I can't do nothing to it for a minute. You got to wait a while, a few hours. So you might not be able to do your nose and mouth. Something might happen. You might have your teeth extracted and you can't rinse it out or nothing yet. Look. Yeah. Those are sunnahs. Yeah.
Sister Layla, when you're praying and like you're doing the last three calls, Qul a'udhu bi rabbi falak, Nas, and Ikhlas, do you have to say Bismillah when you start into the next one inside the prayer?
No, those are not pillars of the prayer. You don't have to even recite them. You don't have to recite no Quran. The only Quran that has to be recited during the prayer is the Fatiha. Anything else, anything that you choose to do after that is just voluntary. You don't even have to recite the whole surah. You can just do Ayat Kursi. Ayat Kursi is not a surah. It's just one verse. You can just say one verse of the Quran. But you don't have to do that at all. Just Fatiha is required. That's a good question. You understand that too, Brother Edward? When you do learn the Fatiha, you're going to probably learn the 4 Quls too. We highly recommend that you recite them in your prayer for the protection, like Sheikh Saud is teaching. And by the way, his class is tomorrow. Like Sheikh Saud said, the Falak, the Nas, Ikhlas, these are the 3 surahs of protection. If you recite them, then you don't have to worry about the evil eye. You don't have to worry about magic, hasid, or none of that. And I recite them in all my prayers. Okay, but do you have to? No, but we highly recommend it because those 3 surahs are your protection against those people who want to hurt you. And there's a lot of evil people that want to hurt us all. Yeah, but you don't have to say them in the prayer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, any other questions? Yes, tomorrow. Oh, yeah, tomorrow, guys, we have Dr. McBride. He's going to continue with the chapter of his book about who is right and who is wrong. He's going to be continuing with the comparison of Jesus, how Allah defines Jesus in the Quran, and how Allah speaks about not only Jesus, but his mother, his father, and all of that. And by the way, when I posted that short up on YouTube, y'all see that comment? Somebody came and some minister talking about Jesus didn't have no grandparents. So y'all see my comment to him. I said, really? I said, if you believe that Dr. McBride is making this up, feel free to join on Thursday at 6 p.m. and he'll prove to you that Jesus did have grandparents. So that's this guy. Let's hope he comes. He's supposed to be here tomorrow. Some rabbi or minister or something who says Jesus didn't have no grandparents. So that's going to be interesting tomorrow at 6. And then also tomorrow we have Sheikh Saud's class. He's going to continue with the Nas. I think he's doing a Nas, right? And then we have my class on the Hasidic Tafsir. So we got 3 classes tomorrow, inshallah. All right, guys, I'm going to close out for tonight. Inshallah, review all of this, put it into action, and I will post up the pages. No, I don't have that class, right? Yeah, I don't have my Get to Know Allah, Get to Know Your Lord is not tomorrow because we got Dr. McBride. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to log out for tonight. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum. Everybody have a good night.